Let's move on to the Cheez-It Bowl. I'm feeling the cheesiest. Oklahoma versus Florida State. Florida State's a 9.5 point favorite over under 66. This game's in Orlando, Florida, Thursday, December 29th, 5:30 Eastern on ESPN. Oklahoma opt-outs are major. Their star running back, Eric Gray, is out. Both starting tackles opted out as well in Harrison and Morris. Defensive lineman Jalen Redmond, Theo Weiss in the transfer portal. I don't think that list is done. I don't think that there's any names that are impactful for Florida State. I think motivationally, this favors Florida State, although Norvell is 0-4 against the spread in bowls. But it's hard to see Oklahoma with some of these opt-outs and everything that I'm reading for Florida State keeping this close. I think this is nulls or nothing.
Yeah, I think I drive by the Schusterman Center, which is University of Oklahoma's medical college here in Tulsa, every day. And the box of Cheez-Its is still in the statue's little bowl there. So I think that's even through the storms and everything, it's still there. Usually they fill that thing with oranges and cotton, but it's filled with Cheez-Its now. Listen, there's plenty of reasons for this Florida State steam. Jordan Travis has confirmed himself for not just for this bowl, but for next season. I think that's had a trickle-down effect on the roster. A lot of people are staying here. OU's losing lead running back Eric Gray. Both starting offensive tackles are out for Oklahoma. Those are monster losses. And the Sooners defense, it never panned out. And we said this in our Big 12 preview back in the summer that Brett Venables' defense has to have a leader at linebacker to get guys lined up, to call the right plays, to whatever, to read the signals that are coming in from the sideline. And that's just a huge problem with this defense. And Venables has been quoted, we just don't have the depth. And so, Oklahoma couldn't generate a pass rush. They did finish fifth in tackles for loss. I found that the most interesting, no pass rush, but they were in everybody's backfield. Defensive tackle Ethan Downs finished the season with 13.5 tackles for loss. And the Sooners also finished top 20 in passes defensed. So they have havoc in those places, but they just can't get any pressure on the quarterback. And Oklahoma was just not good against rush explosives. And that is a staple of the Florida State offense, is having big gains on the ground. And Trey Benson is just an absolute video game numbers the entire season. He's going to tear this OU defense apart. He averaged 7 yards a carry, 4.8 after contact, and he forced 77 missed tackles. And by the way, 44 of his 141 carries were first downs. Guy's just a first down machine. And so really the OU offense, even without their tackles, all they are is the Dylan Gabriel, Marvin Mims show. So this handicap comes down to whether the Seminoles can stop that passing connection. FSU defense was serviceable against the pass. They were inside the top 40 in coverage and defending the big play. But the OU efficiency takes a huge drop in passing downs. They have not been able to do anything on.
And now you don't have your starting tackles against Jared Verse and company.
And Florida State already had in the numbers a huge advantage in third downs on both sides of the ball. So this is a Florida State play all the way. The higher that number gets, I think you'd play it a little bit lighter. But this is going to be a very limited offense, which has had to support a very terrible OU defense the entire season.
Yeah, and Gray has been just a monster for them all year. Probably one of the most underrated seasons by a running back because Oklahoma struggled. But he's been great, and he opted out along with your 2 starting tackles. This feels like a Florida State route.
First half, maybe you get a better number in the first half, though, Stuck. I think, let me look at it. 4.5, that's pretty doable.
Yeah, I don't mind first half. I don't mind full game. I think it's nulls or nothing here. And like I said, I don't think that these are the last of the opt-outs for Oklahoma. I think you might get a few more. And from everything that I'm hearing and reading, it's like Florida State cares about this game, and everyone is a full go.
Venables has got to clear roster space to get more recruits in. They had a good little push during recruiting, got up into the top 10. A lot of these people, these places that grade these teams, and OU popped up into the top 10, and Venables got to create space. So you might, I agree with you. I don't think the portal is done for Oklahoma.